All right, so my name is Johnny Cupcakes. Cupcakes is not my real last name, but sometimes I pretend it is, and I will tell people that it is Portuguese and it pronounces Cupcakes. Um, so I like Wu-Tang Clan, banh mi sandwiches, Mario Kart 64. I love Aladdin the video game, and I love to floss my teeth all the time. It's my favorite thing to do in the world. Also, I really love Home Alone. It's one of my favorite movies. However, the people who now live here do not love trespassers. So I was only able to take 133 photos before I got kicked off of the property with my fake tarantula and Talkboy. What I don't love is traffic, and growing up outside of Boston, Massachusetts, I would see my family be sort of miserable about going into work every single day. They didn't mind their jobs, but it was that commute that made them not really be able to spend too much time raising my little sister and I. So at a young age, I was determined to figure out a way to someday work for myself so that I could figure out ways to spend more time with the people that I love. This is me with my toys. Not much has changed. I still have all of those toys, and I can still fit into those clothes. That's me pretending to eat my little sister when she was born, and that's my dad's award-winning mustache. My sister actually just had a baby like a bunch of hours ago, so I'm finally able to be that creepy magician uncle that I was training to be my whole life. Anyways, my parents didn't have too much money growing up, so my mom would always cut my hair with kitchen scissors. These are some of the haircuts. However, she taught me it's what's inside that matters, and even though I rolled out of bed and went to school like this, I was very accepting of others, and I was always making friends with the troublemakers, the nerds, the athletic kids. I was just very curious about just people from all different walks of lives. And this is my little sister. She's my best friend, and through being an entrepreneur, we now get to work together every single day, and it is a true blessing. So make sure you do more of it, makes you happy. It's unfortunate that sometimes it takes a near-death experience for us to realize how valuable our time and happiness really is. If you can alter a few things in your life to make those changes now, it could really help you have a bit more of a fruitful life as you grow up. I was determined to figure out a way to work for myself, so I started 16 businesses before I was 16 years old. Lemonade was one of them. I graduated having yard sales when my family was not home. One point I would set up haunted houses in my friend Brian's backyard. We'd charge people $1 a ticket. It was a little sketchy, so we stopped doing it. I shoveled snow. I made a small investment in a snow shovel. Even though I could barely push it, it worked out to my advantage because people felt bad for me, so they would give me extra money all the time. Summertime rolled around, so did I. Go up and down Nantasket Beach with my bony adolescent arms, dragging this cooler full of drinks that I was illegally selling. I realized at a young age I can get a 12-pack of Coca-Cola for a significantly discounted price, so I would do that and resell them, and that was going great. When I was 8 years old, I got into magic, and that is when everything changed. I realized that I could do something that makes me happy, that makes other people happy, and I could figure out a way to get paid for this, which felt like magic in itself. At 8 years old, I did my first magic show. It was at my sister's birthday party. But I started doing magic at other birthday parties. I would get paid $20 a half an hour to do magic. It seems like a lot, but I really only knew a half hour's worth of magic. So I never really made more than $20, but it was really exciting. I was infatuated with the crowd and creating a unique experience for other people, even at that young age. My mom gave me a scrapbook a few years back, and she included the actual advertisement that was in our local newspaper that she put in for me when I was, 8, 9, 10 years old. Looking back on it, I realized two things. One, I realized my mom would drop me off at strangers' houses when I was a little boy. And I'm like, Mom, someday I could really disappear. You can't just do that. And the other thing I realized is, I'm not 8 years old anymore, so if I put this in the newspaper now, it definitely looks a little molesty. So anyways, yeah, I just thought that was kind of strange. But she saved it. It was really thoughtful, really cool, and I love doing magic. Point is, when you find something that you love, whether you're working for yourself or for another company, and you could laugh every day and come home and smile, it really affects every part of your life, including your health. And that is very valuable. I had a hard time focusing. I never took any drugs for it or anything. Instead, my parents put me into a charter school so that I could better focus with hands-on learning, smaller classrooms. It was scary at first, but it ended up being the best thing that happened to me. When I was 13 years old in 8th grade, I made the school's first yearbook. It was at a startup charter school, and I realized they didn't have a yearbook, so I took my personal scrapbook, And I used to want to be a gangster, but it didn't work out for me, so I tried other things. I started pre-selling yearbooks before they even existed. If you have any ideas for projects, events, products that you want to release, taking pre-orders is a very great way to make a calculated risk and to also gauge other people's interest and excitement. So I'd go around with these yearbooks that didn't exist yet with my personal scrapbook, and I'd say, hey, I'm going to turn this into a yearbook in a few months. If you place a pre-order now, I'll save one for you. And all of a sudden, people were giving me money for something that didn't exist yet. I was able to grow that to a pretty decent size at that age. Timing helped out, realizing people get paid at the end of the week, offer an incentive, having a physical sample, it makes it less sketchy, approaching the right people, figuring out who my buyers are, like everybody's parents. They have the money, and they're excited, and they want to buy extra yearbooks for their family members. And approaching people that I know, that really helped out too. But eventually, you do have to leave your social circle, meet new people, and when you do that, it's great because you start to grow and introduce yourself and your skill set to other people, and it's important to branch out and to network, and that's why an event like this is so important, because you could meet some lifelong friendships and business relationships, so make sure you network at this event. Eye contact, good handshake, no poopy breath. These three things could help you. It could make or break a business or relationship opportunities. You might have a multi-million-dollar idea, but if someone can only focus on how terrible your breath smells, they're not going to listen to your idea. So you really have to check yourself before you wreck yourself. So you're always representing yourself, whether you work for yourself or a company, whether you feel happy or not so happy about that company, make sure you're representing yourself. When I was in 8th grade, 13 years old, I made $2,000 in cash off of something that didn't exist yet. It was a $1,500 cash profit, and it was unbelievable. It was so successful, the school decided to make their own yearbook the next year, and I was out of a job. So I had to come up with something else to sell. I started selling pranks. I realized that I could get anything in the world at a discounted price as long as I took a financial risk up front. I used to be a class clown, and my dad was always a goofball growing up. Anytime I'd have sleepovers, my dad would take our cat and put it in his shirt, so we'd have a cat head on a human's body, and he would officially be Cat Dad. So all of my dad's shirts have holes in them from the cat clown trying to get out. But anyways, I used to buy so many pranks at this one joke shop that the owner sat down with me, and he told me about wholesale, and he told me that I could get a lot of pranks for an inexpensive price if I really wanted to be serious about this. So I went home that day with a catalog from Oriental Trading Company, and I started buying so many pranks. But I started out with this whoopee cushion, and I ordered a bunch of them. I realized I can get 144 whoopee cushions for the price of 4 retail whoopee cushions. That's a lot of whoopee cushions. So the next week I went to school. I pranked people just like I normally would, except this time I would say, that could be yours for a small price of $4.99. And instead of people giving me money, most people gave me the middle finger, and they weren't happy that everyone in class thought they crapped their pants, so they didn't want to support me. But anyways, I sold enough, I made my money back, and I still had a ton left over. So for the next couple years, everyone in my family got a whoopee cushion for their birthday, for Valentine's Day, for Christmas, for Easter. And then I came up with a really cool idea. At lunchtime, I would take my leftover products, and I would trade them with people for their snacks. I would then take their snacks and I would resell them to other people. All of a sudden, I got rid of all of my whoopee cushions, got snacks, resold those snacks, had more money, and then reinvested it into more pranks. Now, when you start a business, it's very exciting to maybe get some new clothes or get your car fixed or travel, but it's so important to reinvest that back into yourself. It's a constant reinvestment. And even back then, I was reinvesting my money back into more pranks, itching powder, fart spray, stink bomb, switchblade combs. Everything I should not have been selling in high school, I was selling. So this was going great until someone had an allergic reaction. They had to get rushed to the emergency room. Their back was covered with hives because they were allergic to the itching powder. I know. This isn't their real back. I wasn't taking photos of a crying person. That would have been terrible. But I actually got this off a Google image search. At first, I typed in rash, and then I was like, oh, no. So then I typed in back rash. So make sure you be careful out there. So anyways, I got suspended. I was like, sweet, school vacation, went home. There was nothing to do. Depressing Cash for Gold commercials. All I wanted to do was go back to school. And I had to come up with something else to sell. Since most of my friends at the time were selling drugs, I decided to sell candy. Now, since I'm introduced to the whole world of wholesale, I know that I could buy anything in the world at inexpensive prices as long as I take that financial risk up front, and as long as I'm not afraid to meet new people and make time to hustle. So I began buying candy at wholesale prices. Even though there was a school store, I had all the good stuff. I had M&Ms, Sour Patch Kids, I had Swedish Fish. Every day I was coming home with a backpack full of cash. It was unbelievable. Now, some weeks were terrible because I didn't have my license yet, but some other weeks were great. If I could sell 100 packs of candy 2 times a day at $1 each, that's $200 a day times 5 days a week. So that's $1,000 cash a week in high school off of selling something legal. This was great. Even my drug dealer friends were very impressed. They were like, whoa, did you really do that? And I was like, guys, you actually bought most of the candy for me when you had the munchies. And they were like, oh, yeah, do you have any more Doritos? And I was like, all right. So this was going great until the school realized how much money I made. The school donates money to school functions. I donate money to whoopee cushions and not having to get a real job. So I had to stop doing that. Entrepreneurship was not as relevant as it is now in school, especially in high school at the time. So I had to stop selling candy. I had to focus on getting an internship. I didn't realize how valuable this could be. I'm flipping through this phone book. I'm trying to figure out what I'm passionate about. I don't really know. I think it's kind of crazy to make a financial decision that big at such a young age to figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life. Some people know, but I wasn't quite sure, and I had to get this internship. So there's a construction company. I'm not really built for that. There was a plumbing company. I love the Mario Brothers, but I didn't want to be a plumber just yet. And I love graphic T-shirts, so I signed up to be an intern at this T-shirt printing facility, and it was great. Anytime a shirt came out of that dryer, it was like an idea machine. And although I did not think of the Johnny Cupcakes T-shirt brand just yet, I was inspired every day that I went into work. This was great. You're never too young. You're never too old to intern, to volunteer, to job shadow. Even if you just spend 15 minutes getting coffee with someone from another company, it could completely change your outlook on life. I know when I go to California and I visit my friends' T-shirt brands, I come back home and I want to make some big changes. Or I realize that I don't want to make certain changes, and it could give you a lot of great clarity. So you might have to send out 100 emails to get one reply, to maybe sit down with someone for 15 minutes, but that 15 minutes, you could learn somebody's failures and success, just like you're doing today at this wonderful event. So learning hands-on is key, especially for me. I was focusing, playing later. I still had other businesses. I DJ'd with real records, and that was pretty crazy. I sold glow sticks. That was pretty wild. I even sold Tupperware at one point. This was the craziest of them all. It was actually pretty cool. I was the only guy who was doing this, but I was the only person in my age bracket doing this, and something about it became a little creepy, and I decided to stop selling Tupperware. I still have all of my Tupperware. I just don't have the lids anymore. So at a young age, I began cutting back on excessive things. But on this list, I cut back on video games. I cut back on television. I had a girlfriend at the time who wasn't really supportive, so I broke up with her. I was sad for a week or two. But after those 2 weeks, I was like, whoa, look at all of this money I'm saving. This is incredible. And what am I going to do with all of this time? Well, maybe I should find myself and build a strong foundation for my life before I take on the responsibilities of another human's emotions. And that's a really big responsibility to take on. So I decided to be single for a while and just figure things out, and that's what I did. Also, even though I grew up with drug dealers and I love gangster rap music, I've actually never had a sip of alcohol before. I don't know what it feels like to be drunk. I've never tried any drugs. I love the smell of marijuana. It makes my mouth water, and I fantasize about trying it someday. But right now, I'm just putting all my time and energy into working, and that's what I've been doing from day one. So even though I don't party, I will still go to parties with my friends and have a great time. I'll bring Oragel with me. It's a gel format of Novocaine that makes your mouth numb when you have a cavity. When my friends aren't looking, I'll put it on the rims of their drinks. And by the time they go hit on a cute guy or girl at a party, they start drooling down their face. So I find out ways every single day to involve humor without spending too much money or without sacrificing my health or memories or, little things like that. So I was at a party last night. It was really fun. I was probably the only person that did it. Me and this pregnant lady were probably the only people there who weren't drinking. But I spent the whole night doing magic tricks, and everybody thought I was the creepiest person in the world, but I had the best time ever, and I feel great today. And I'm here to tell the tale. So that's what I do. Now, all of the money and time that I was saving from not partying my whole life on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, recouping on Sundays, and half of Mondays, that's 5 days a week, my entire life, I've been able to operate at 110% And it's really helped me learn. It's helped me fail fast. It's helped me try out all these different businesses. And eventually, it helped me get to my passion. Now, my way is not the right way, but I will say, at least from my experience, the more you put in to your passion, the more you're going to get back. And it's as simple as that. So if you're really serious about working for yourself or excelling in something that you're passionate about, you have to put in that time. So this is great. You can pick up Oragel at some of the stores around here. Just make sure nobody's allergic to it. I tried out university school for a little bit. It wasn't for me. I took a small break. I'm still on that break. My parents were really supportive. They said school's not going anywhere. It's not, and it's not a race. So if you are at school, you don't have to take as many classes as everybody else. You want to be able to remember all of the information that you're taking in. So I decided to take a break. The hardcore metal band that I was in a band called On Broken Wings, and we got signed to a record label, and we were able to tour. It wasn't that luxurious of a record label, and but we got to tour around in a crusty little van, and it was great. So I decided to make pins. I bought a pin making machine off of eBay. It makes these little pins, buttons, badges. It was $130. To this day, I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars just making pins and watching Cartoon Network. This was great. At one point, I teamed up with a friend of mine who was better at designing. He had a better computer and a better printer. It seemed like a great idea to make a business with a friend, hang out all day, and figure out ways to make money together. And that was great. Our business doubled, tripled. We got our pins sold through all these record shops throughout Massachusetts and New England. But at one point, my friend got a girlfriend, and all of a sudden, he was not as passionate about sitting in a dark room on the weekend doing arts and crafts with another man. So we failed. But it was great because I kept positive, and I said, you know what, if I'm going to start a business again, I'm going to do it by myself so I can hold myself accountable, and also so I can't sacrifice a friendship, and I need to focus. So that's what I did. I kept positive. While my friends were hanging out with cute girls at parties, I was hanging out with cute old ladies at Joann Fabrics. This is a fabric store throughout do you guys have Joann Fabrics here? No? All right, well, it's a great fabric store. You got to come check it out. Anyways, I'd go up and down the fleece fabric aisle looking for fleece fabric that was on sale for $3 for a yard of fabric, or for this much of fabric, and I would then get a pizza cutter, and I would cut it in 3 strips, and I would make 3 scarves that would cost me $3, $1 each a scarf, that I would then resell for $30 each. I would make an $87 profit anytime I spent $3 on making these scarves. I had these sold through all these stores throughout New England. It was great. It was very successful, and it's probably the best profit margin I've ever had on any of my projects. I should probably go do this once winter rolls around. Anyways, this was going great until summer came around. All of a sudden, nobody wanted to buy these warm things anymore, so I had to get a real job. I needed health insurance, so I had to get a full-time job. I got a job at that record store, Newbury Comics, that I worked at. This is the car I used to drive. There's nothing wrong with it. It got me from point A to point B, and it inspired me every single day to work just a little bit harder. Now, while I was working at that record store, I received a tremendous amount of nicknames. Since my name's Johnny, my goofy coworkers would call me Johnny Appleseed, or if I was late for work, they'd call me Johnny Come Lately. Or Johnny Cupcakes came out of nowhere, and I put it on a t-shirt as a complete joke to advertise a bakery that didn't even exist. The inner prankster inside of me was very excited to see people's reactions and for me to give them different answers every single time. But enough people asked about these t-shirts that I would wear that I decided to make more. They were making strangers smile. People that would never make eye contact with me started laughing and saying, "What is that? What's Johnny Cupcakes?" The word of mouth spread like wildfire, which I actually said once during a lecture I gave in California, and everyone became quiet. The word of mouth spread like peanut butter, and it was very exciting, and all of a sudden, strangers from all different walks of life were coming up to me at work saying, "Psst, are you that cupcake guy? Where can I get one of those t-shirts?" And I'm like, "Shh, what do you need? I have a walkie-talkie. Shh, what do you need? I'll meet you in the back parking lot on my lunch break." I was selling out of these t-shirts, and anytime I would sell 12 t-shirts, I'd take that money, I'd buy 24 t-shirts. And it kept going. It was a slow snowball effect. I knew nothing about design. I knew nothing about business. I just learned by trying, and although it could have a lot of emotional moments doing that, it definitely builds up your character and builds up your self-esteem, and you get a lot of good experience doing that. So I made more t-shirts. I was reinvesting back into it, poking fun at pop culture for no reason whatsoever, just to have fun, replacing the skull and crossbones with the cupcake and crossbones, a panda eating a cupcake instead of bamboo. I didn't realize bamboo did not look like leaves, so I had this poor model eat leaves. Anyways, this guy's pooping out cupcakes. There's 2 Alka-Seltzer tablets on the back with little cupcake logos on them. We like to reinvent the different sports seasons every year with different designs. We did one for Got Milk, but Got Cupcakes with frosting. It looked a little weird, looked like mashed potatoes, so we stopped doing it. So we did Make Cupcakes Not War. Chubby Chef slam dunking a cupcake instead of a basketball. We packaged these in little teeny collectible sneaker boxes that were hand numbered, and they sold out really quick. We did a plane dropping cupcakes instead of bombs. Few shirts to pay homage to some of the, or homage to some of the wonderful movies out there. Cupcakes instead of Compton. I feel like anytime we meet, we mix something cute with something badass, we have a really good reaction. So why have over 2,000 people got the Johnny Cupcakes logos tattooed on their face, their neck, their back? I've seen tattoos that I wish I did not even see. If you do a search for Johnny Cupcakes tattoos, you will find a lot of different tattoos. And why have people camped out for up to 2 weeks waiting for t-shirts, sleeping on the streets? What we do that's a little bit different. Now, I know a lot of people use the word experience. When I use the word experience, it's always been my #1 goal to make sure that my customers feel like it's their birthday anytime they purchase a product. And this isn't even a business strategy. This just really makes me happy. I want to be Santa Claus or Willy Wonka, or I want to be a parent someday, and I can't wait to surprise my future kids. So in the meantime, I have these customers that I can play these weird, fun, awesome games with through merchandising. So for an example, we released a breakfast-themed t-shirt that you can only buy during breakfast hours. If you showed up in the afternoon, we would not sell this to you. Even if you drove 8 hours from another state, we wouldn't sell this to you. Even if you hate me forever, anytime you have breakfast for the rest of your life, there's a really good chance you're going to bring up the story about how this jerk-faced Johnny Cupcakes didn't sell you a t-shirt, and your friends and family are going to say, "What's Johnny Cupcakes? Let me search it," and they might buy a t-shirt. So I've always taken my advertising budget and put it into building unique experiences, and by doing that, our customers do the advertising for us. It's been like that for the past 15 years. So not only did we do that, but we gave out real breakfast with every t-shirt purchase. We were able to take a shirt that we normally sell for $30, $35 and sell it for around $50. These sold out within 24 hours. You might be able to find them on eBay for around $300 now. And it was a very fun, collectible product, and now everybody has a memory associated with that t-shirt. We try to provide memories with every product that we release. You know, I meet people every day starting t-shirt brands, and you probably meet people starting events, or teachers teaching, or musicians starting bands, or people opening up restaurants. We have so many options. People have so many options. So why is a complete stranger going to leave their comfort zone to take a risk with what you do? And that's something you should always ask yourself anytime you make any decision, because they have so many options. So a few other examples. We're making this Where's Johnny t-shirt. We're not even going to sell it. The only way to get this is to physically find me when I post on social media. "Hey, it's Johnny. I'm at this gas station. I'll be here for 20 minutes. If you find me by the bathroom, you get a free t-shirt." As weird as it is, everyone's going to be like, "That's really weird. Let's see if it's really that weird. Let's go find this guy." And if they get that t-shirt, they're going to tell that story to everybody. We do a lot of corporate gifting. It's really fun. We'll take other companies or other schools' mascots, and we'll make special merchandise for them by putting our Johnny Cupcakes twist on everything. This is really fun. We did this for the Carasilk brand for Goldwell. We've done some collaborations. We worked with Marilyn Monroe's estate. We replaced her beauty mark with a little tiny cupcake. We've done Looney Tunes. Hello Kitty was a big one. This was huge. Sanrio posted this on their Facebook fan page that had over 10 million fans at the time. Our website nearly crashed. We generated $250,000 in sales within 24 hours with zero traditional advertising. My mom thought something was wrong. We couldn't believe this. It was very successful, very exciting, so we decided to do it again. We did it with the Ninja Turtles. We didn't do it with the Ninja Turtles, that would be really weird, but we collaborated with the Ninja Turtles to work on some special edition t-shirts. So we put our Johnny Cupcakes twist on these. I got a call from someone at Viacom, at Nickelodeon, and they're like, hey, we're coming out with this new Ninja Turtles movie. We want you to help us build up some hype and excitement. And I was like, who's this? And the guy's name was Donatello. I was like, are you serious? Who is this? And it was this cool little Italian dude that wanted to make some shirts with us. So we did. We put our Johnny Cupcakes twist on everything. It was exciting, but it has to be more than the design. It has to be more than that. Now, you also have to remember, people are walking by retail stores, not even looking at window displays. So whatever you have in the window now, you might as well throw out the door because everybody's looking down at their phones. You have to entice them with sound and with smell and interaction. So I decided to have the Ninja Turtles themselves go out to our London shop on Carnaby Street. It was a pop-up shop that we had for 4 years. We wanted to be open for the Olympics. And people were very excited. People who knew nothing about the brand decided to go in the store to see what it was all about. Now, I think what's so great about collaborating with other companies, big or small, the best thing you take away, it isn't even the financial benefits, but it's other people's worlds learning about your world and vice versa. And if you play your cards right, you might have a lot of brand new customers that could potentially be lifelong customers and ambassadors for whatever it is that you do. So this was great. I believe that in every workforce, creative thinking must be applied, whether it's stories and sales, marketing and advertising, product development, leadership and education, customer experience, and social media. All of these bits and pieces can come together through being creative, being hands-on, and really, really pushing yourself to the limits. We had a project with G-Shock recently. This was exciting. Sold out super quick. We beat the rapper Eminem's sales, which was very exciting and kind of weird to hear, but he had the #1 sales for a collaborating watch. We beat his 3-week sales in less than 24 hours with 0 traditional advertising. It was teamwork, being creative. We got to use G-Shock Shop in Soho, New York. They gave it to us for 4 days to do a pop-up shop. We drummed up some excitement. We had a few contests. And when you do little things like that, it doesn't take much. You don't really need much money to get people excitement. If you could keep it personal and figure out ways to show your appreciation to the people who are supporting you or who are not supporting you yet, it's really going to come right back around. Some other projects we did with Nickelodeon, Ren and Stimpy was one of my personal favorites. And the last example I want to show you is a project we did with The Simpsons. It was 2 years in the making. We got approached by Fox to do something for The Simpsons' big anniversary. We packaged the shirts in giant cupcake mix boxes with fake nutrition facts, T-shirts inside. They all came with different prizes. Homer's came with socks and a watch. Krusty's came with a bow tie, a hat, and a collectible T-shirt. We were able to, again, take a $30, $35 T-shirt we normally sell and sell these for $60 to $75, and they sold out in minutes on the website. Bart's came with glasses and a wallet. But what else can we do? It can't just be the design. It can't even just be the packaging or the really cool property that we're working with. Why is someone going to leave their couch and stop watching TV to go wait in line to spend money? And more importantly, how are they going to convince their significant other to stand in line for many hours to queue up to spend money? Whether you say there's going to be special guests, music, giveaways, gift bags, all those little things. Food is a major contender. If you tell anyone there's going to be food at an event, even if it's the worst event in the world, you're like, all right, I'll go and at least try out the food. And hopefully, if that person plays their cards right, you get roped into learning and being excited and being curious about what they do. So we gave out Duff energy drinks to everybody. We partnered up with an actual cupcake place. We don't sell cupcakes. Again, we're a T-shirt brand with stores that look and smell like bakeries. So when we sell real cupcakes or give them out for free, it really blows people's minds, especially the people who hate me for not selling real food because they got a bunch of parking tickets and an angry family because they waited in line to buy cupcakes that didn't exist. So this was really fun to see the confusion on people's faces. We work with Duff Goldman of Ace of Cakes, Charm City West to make these little donuts on top of the cupcakes. We had Homer come out and strangle people in line that were queuing up for T-shirts. And my mother even dressed up like Marge Simpson and greeted all of our customers. People thrive off of new experiences. They thrive off of new experiences, so much so that they are willing to camp out for days. So, my concept is strange, but strange is good, strange is important. It sets you apart from the rest. Few examples. Here's Kiss the Band. You may or may not like their music. We all know about them because they dress up like clowns and perform rock and roll. Mario Brothers, really weird concept for a video game. It's a plumber that shoots fire out of his nose and or mouth, and he's looking for a princess inside of a sewer. It's such a strange concept, but it's the most recognized video game franchise in the entire world. Speaking of sewers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they eat pizza in a sewer where poo-poo floats around. Really bizarre, but it's recognized around the world. Rainforest Cafe, whether or not you like this establishment, many children want to eat here because you're eating in a jungle. So anytime you work on any project, product, event, always ask yourself, what are 12 things that make you unique? As a person, as a skill set, as a product, as an experience. You might not come up with 12 things, or you might come up with more than 12 things. And after you get those 12 things, do not become too comfortable, because most people are guilty of getting comfortable once they figure out what makes them original, whether it's their mission statement or this or that. You have to keep reinventing, because once you become comfortable, that's when another company comes in and steals all the thunder and lightning and excitement. So always challenge yourself. Again, people have too many options. Why will they take a risk with you and whatever it is that you decide to do? So before all that success, I'm touring, living at my parents' house, traveling with the band. It was the best thing that happened to me. Travel whenever you can, even if you're taking a sketchy bus across the border. It's really nice to get out of your everyday environment, and it helps you think a bit differently. And it helps you get a little bit of clarity, too. So I was selling T-shirts out of my crusty suitcase. They were wrinkled up. They smelled like gas. They smelled like fast food, but people were buying them left and right. Anytime I wore a T-shirt, it would generate a conversation, some curiosity, and then I'd say, oh, if you want a T-shirt, I've got some in my suitcase. I can meet you after the show. And then I would sell out of these T-shirts. I'd call home. I'd have my mom and my little sister ship these T-shirts out to whatever city or state I was in, and it was going great. I would walk into a lot of stores and try and get my T-shirts sold, but most people did not want to buy these smelly, wrinkled-up T-shirts from a stranger. So, stranger danger. So I learned about trade shows. There's a trade show out there for everything in the world, and I decided to leave the band to put 100% into the Johnny Cupcakes T-shirt company. And I went to Vegas, did my first trade show, got my shirt sold in stores in Italy, Japan, Australia, all over the U.S., but then I decided I don't want to do that anymore. I want to figure out a way to go direct to my customer so that I can better curate a customer's experience, make a better profit margin, and be able to change up whatever I want to do with my business at any point. It might be a little more difficult in the beginning, but if I can build this up, this could be pretty cool. So built up the website. The best thing I took away from the trade show was learning from other people's success and failures. Again, just like what you're doing at this wonderful event. And that really helped me make some valuable decisions. I was able to price my T-shirts a little bit higher, find out different sources to get stickers made and all these other items and packaging. And it was great. But the other great thing I took away was the relationships, the high-fiving, networking, meeting new people. So right now, I want you to high-five a complete stranger behind you, in front of you. Look at their elbow. You'll never miss. How's it going? Hi. Hey, Opa! So I like to say, I think it's very important to meet strangers unless they drive a white van. It's very important, so remember that. But seriously, when you leave your immediate social circle, you meet new people, learn new things, and it helps you be a more well-rounded person. Went back home, got the website up. When people buy things online, they feel less guilt when they pay for things with their credit card or their PayPal account. Raise your hand if you've ever purchased an extra product online just because you told yourself, hey, I'm already paying for shipping, I might as well buy a couple extra things. Do you know how mental that is? That's like a gambler's way of thinking. Hey, I'm paying $6 on shipping, I might as well spend $45 more on ShopBop, every girl's favorite website, or any website out there. Amazon makes it so easy. It's having an online shop definitely helped my brand grow. and my parents' house was filled with boxes of shirts, from the attic to the kitchen to the living room. This was going great until people sent me terrible emails when they got their shirt in the mail that had cat hair on it, cigarette smoke, sawdust. I didn't realize how valuable packaging was. It could make or break an experience or a business transaction. A lot of people save their sneaker boxes. A lot of people love going to McDonald's just for the toys, the Happy Meal, the experience. Raise your hand if you've ever saved packaging from the Apple Store just because it opens in 13 different weird ways. You're like, that's a cool box, can't throw it out. All right, cool. We're kind of recycling in a very hoarder type way. I met a really cool hoarder last night. Is he here? Where is he? All right. He's not here. He's lost in his mess. Anyways, raise your hand if you know anyone that saves a sticker on their hats that announces what size head they have. It's kind of strange packaging. People keep it on their hats. They don't throw it out. And they think that that hologram sticker makes their sweaty, dirty hat seem a little bit more new. I like to say good packaging doesn't get thrown away, and what it does, it acts as a miniature billboard. People save it. People talk about it. We package our earrings in food containers, half dozen, nutrition facts. We put our shirts in little food cases, pastry boxes. It does cost more money, but it does give us a lot more brand impressions, and if you search the Johnny Cupcakes hashtag on Instagram, you'll notice most people are posting photos of those little fun details. We also released shirts that we packaged in ice cream containers. They were ice cream themed. We rented out ice cream trucks in New York, Los Angeles, San Francisco, and Santa Monica. And the only way to get these shirts was to find the ice cream truck. I didn't even say where the ice cream truck was going to be until the night before because I wanted customers to chase us like little kids chasing an ice cream truck. Not only that, but we gave out ice cream with every t-shirt purchase, and we packaged the shirts not only in these custom-made pints of ice cream, but oversized push-up pops with rolled-up t-shirts inside. Again, we took a shirt that we usually sell for $30, $35 by spending a few extra dollars on packaging and a lot of extra time on figuring out ways to convince people to give us their ice cream trucks for the day. We were able to sell these for $60 to $75, and you can now find them on eBay for hundreds of dollars. But it was that memory. No one cared about spending money. They were meeting new people, having a new experience, doing something different, and it also gave us so much new content to put out there because people wanted to follow the ice cream truck. We've done frosting-themed shirts and frosting containers with fake frosting drips that smell like frosting. Chinese food-themed shirts packaged in to-go boxes. We didn't even print on existing boxes. We made them from scratch because we wanted them to be huge, or huge, as my homie would say. Anyways, we've done Halloween-themed shirts around October that have fake movie titles, like Rise of the Two-Headed Zombie Chefs. We made fake movie trailers for them. We packaged them in oversized VHS tapes. Not only that, we made our stores look and feel like haunted houses. Our employees dressed up like zombies. We had a costume contest. We showed movies in the windows. And I even went as far as renting out a hearse and a coffin from a stranger on Craigslist. But for me to spend $220 on a coffin and a hearse, package deal, that is cheaper than a $10,000 or $20,000 full-page ad. So me spending a couple $100s to do that, all of a sudden, every person on Newbury Street in Boston are stopped in their tracks trying to figure out why there's a hearse in front of a bakery that doesn't sell food, and they're asking every customer that's queuing up for shirts, and every customer is acting as a brand ambassador advertising the Johnny Cupcakes brand. And it makes work fun. The most important thing, it makes work fun. These are some of the other shirts to give you an idea. Robot Ovens from Mars. We did a sci-fi one. And Count Spatula. You could find all these on YouTube. We've done burger shirts, burger containers. You get the idea. When we ship out T-shirts, although we just ran out of our special packaging, we're waiting for new packaging to come in, but we usually send out shirts with special packaging, design. Sometimes you might get free candy, you might get a pin, you might get a vintage trading card, you might get a sticker, you might get a pack of batteries, a chocolate bar, or a $20 bill, or a doll's head. Now, I've found the more strange thing that I put in their packages, the more likely they're going to talk about the brand on social media. Now I just have to figure out what to do with all of the body parts. Sometimes I'll take a break from work, and I'll write a handwritten note on people's orders that are going out. This is absolutely free. You can thank people for free. And when you thank them with a handwritten note, it shows that you didn't cut and paste something. It shows you actually cared and took time out to say thank you. You should always thank your friends. You should tell your significant others, your family, how much you appreciate them. I promise you, a handwritten note will completely make their day, make their year, make their life. These are a few things people have said when they got their shirt in the mail. Actually, I'll just read one of them. This one said, "I just peed myself." This one said, "Received this gem in the mail today and realized that Johnny Cupcakes personally signed my package. This little act of kindness definitely made my day. I've fully supported the Johnny Cupcakes brand for the past 8 years and will forever continue to support such an amazing brand. Thank you so much, Johnny." They're saying they're going to support the brand forever. I don't know if that's true or not, but this took me 2 seconds to say thank you. And it doesn't take much. If you want customer loyalty, you just have to be loyal to your customers by being human and saying thank you and acknowledging people and just being present. So this is great. This is fun. It makes people smile, and it gives them something to talk about, and it definitely has helped the brand grow over the years. We've had some customers that we know by name. We have some customers that have gotten married at our stores. Not married, but proposed through T-shirt designs. We try to just make it fun for everybody. We ship out shirts every single day through our website. Our web store is turned into the backbone of the business. Some shirts have oven mitts for tags inside. You can't really bake with them. Some shirts have secret messages inside. I can't show you because it's a secret. We developed some wooden rolling pins that are hollowed out, and you pull your T-shirt out from inside. It's a really cool idea until you realize you don't use rolling pins to make cupcakes. Listen, I am no superhero. I know nothing about business. I know nothing about design. I did not go to school for anything, really. I wanted to learn how to record bands, but all I am is a little dude that's not afraid to fail, so I'm just going to keep trying things until they work out. And I still screw up every single day, even though we have a successful brand. Poo-poo hits the fan every single day, and you just have to roll with the punches, be positive, and try new things. And everyone has brilliant ideas, but so many people are afraid to fail that they won't even try it. They get haunted by the what-ifs. What if my family says this, and what are my friends going to say if I fail, and what happens if it doesn't work out? But once you put yourself out there and get over that, really magic things will happen. This is our mascot. We call him Big Kid. I think every brand should have a mascot. When I went to give a lecture in Japan, there was a mascot for everything out there. It's great. It helps you remember the brands, and it helps with merchandising. A lot of colleges and universities have great mascots. We package this toy in a little fun packaging with a scale on top, and we dress them up every year differently. I think we're doing a Jason Voorhees-inspired Big Kid for Friday the 13th coming up. Your business card, your website, and your resume, these are all extensions of your personality. If it looks like everybody else's, you're probably going to get treated like everybody else. A few things to keep in mind. These are some fun business cards. This is a wooden business card. If I had to choose between over 200 carpenters to work on my home and the person with the least experience had the coolest business card, it would make me feel like, hey, if this person puts that much time, energy, money, and creativity into something as little as their business card, it makes me feel like they're going to put that same love into working on my home. So there's a chance that I might hire this person before all the other people that have way more experience. Those details can go a really long way. Here's a clear business card, a miniature one. This one's cool if you're starting a clothing line. This one really stands out. My first business card was a Home Alone 2 Lost in New York trading card. I just wrote my name and number on the back of it, and people remembered it. You can get clever. You can have fun with it. And you can always write a note on it to somebody to remix the business card. And if you get a business card from somebody, write a note about that person so when you follow up with them, it's not a cold email. You can actually say something that you talked about at the event. I moved out of my parents' house. I still live there. I love my parents, love my family, but I moved my operations out so my shirts would not smell like cigarette smoke. Built a community around the brand. When I travel, I'll often post on my Snapchat, my Johnny Cupcakes Twitter, or Instagram. I'll say, hey, I'm in New York City, or I'm in San Francisco. If you meet me at this pizza shop, and if you show up with your Johnny Cupcakes t-shirt on, I'm going to treat you to lunch. I'll think maybe 4, 5, 6 people will show up, and all of a sudden 400 people will show up, all with different Johnny Cupcakes t-shirts on. Now, we release new t-shirts every Friday at noon. Every Friday at noon, we release new shirts. So we saw shirts from years and years back, and this was great. Now, For me to spend a couple $100s on some hot slices of pizza, again, it is cheaper than advertising, and you build brand loyalty, and you get to eat pizza with new friends, and it's really fun. I've done this with ice cream, with dodgeball, with tons of different things. I just want to build a community around the brand, and that's something that we strive to do every single day. People began getting the logos tattooed on themselves. Even Travie McCoy of Gym Class Heroes got this giant Johnny Cupcakes tattoo on his leg. This guy got one on his neck. I think it's cool, but his parents probably hate me. I was at the airport. I was invited to go speak in Denver, Colorado. Out of all the people I sat next to, this random kid said, "Oh, I love your Johnny Cupcake shirt. Check out this tattoo I just got." I said, "Oh, that's cool." So that was that. So the turning point of my brand is when I opened a store on Newbury Street in Boston. I went from spending $700 a month on rent in my hometown to taking a risk and spending more than $7,000, $8,000 a month to be on this special street. This was before those cool collaborations. This was a risk. It was scary. But I was able to look at our online sales, and most of them were from the Northeast, and I was also able to sit on that property before I leased it and count how many people walk by. And I said, if I can trick half of those people into thinking we sell food, and half of those people leave with a product, but 100% of them leave with a story to tell, I think we could do something cool. Let's give it a try. There's my dad and I building out the shop together. It was so exciting to spend time with my dad. I think the reason why I don't drink alcohol is because my dad was an alcoholic growing up, and he's been sober for over a decade now. It's like I have a brand new dad. It's one of the coolest things in the world, and I was so excited to work with him. If you look close, I look a little too excited, but that is just baggy pants on a really short person. No, seriously, I'm really short, so I have to cuff my pants 100 times or else I get this weird situation. But anyways, just didn't want you to think something was going on with my dad and I. So the opening day was wild. 400 plus customers lined up forever. The line wrapped up and down Newbury Street. It was as big as the opening of the Apple store, not too far away, and it was unbelievable. Even people that didn't know what was going on were jumping in line thinking they were going to buy cupcakes. They were very disappointed when they got in the store a few hours later. So all day, all night, unbelievable. Even kids that used to make fun of me were in line with money. If I could go back in time, I totally would have put itching powder inside of their T-shirts. People will make fun of your ideas. Raise your hand if you know somebody who is not happy unless they have something to complain about. If you're not raising your hand, you are that person, by the way. Like, I'm too good to raise my hand. I'm just kidding. Kind of not really. But seriously, though, you got to lighten up. Life is a wild ride, and if you can involve humor in your life every day, it's just going to make your day that much more special. So, people will make fun of your ideas. You have to use that as motivation to prove those suckers wrong. And people make fun of my shirts all the day. Oh, who's going to buy a shirt with a cupcake on it? I was like, I don't know. I'm still making them after 15 years, and it's crazy, but people are buying them. And if you can involve some other fun personal aspects to your brand, you can achieve success. So inside the store, I could have used inexpensive displays from IKEA. I love IKEA, love the Swedish meatballs. But instead, I bought giant, massive, industrial-sized commercial refrigerators that we displayed products in, a dough mixer. I even hid vanilla-scented car fresheners, so when you walk into my T-shirt shop, you smell frosting. I convinced my friend Boris. He asked me, how'd you get that effect? I said, well, dude, I mixed vanilla frosting with white paint. He said, really? I said, yeah, lick the wall. And he licked the wall. And he said, I don't taste it. And I said, oh, lick over here. I think it's on this side. And he did that, and, you know. On the fourth try, he realized I was joking with him. If I could go back in time, I totally would have put Orajel on the wall so his mouth would go numb. So inside of the shop, the opening was wild. We made more than 3 months' rent in one day. I was able to hire my mom full-time after that. She's been the CFO of my brand for the past 10 years, and I get to see my family every single day. It's a true, true blessing. I've built a positive team over time, learned to delegate tasks. It's not just me. I work with a lot of different people every single day. Sometimes they're new, sometimes they're older employees, sometimes they're just customers. But it takes teamwork to really bring things to life. There's me inside of the shop. This is a funny thing someone posted on the internet. I will tell you, though, on April Fool's Day, we hid all of our T-shirts and we sold cupcakes. We had customers drive from New York City to Boston to buy T-shirts, and we said, why would we sell T-shirts? We're a bakery. And we lost those customers forever. But they're going to share that story forever. Now we had people coming in looking for cupcakes like they normally would, and they got cupcakes that day. We made a few $1,000s selling real food, and it was great. But the next day, we lost all of those customers too, because we went back to selling T-shirts. So I might open a store across the street called Johnny's T-shirts that only sells cupcakes. But anyways, every day people say, wait, you don't sell real cupcakes? Oh, before I get into this, how much time do I have left? Okay, cool. Well, all of our stores say no sugar, no carbs, no fat. We're not lying. There is no sugar, no carbs, no fat. It's all fiber, it's all cotton. The only time I feel terrible is when a cute elderly couple walk inside looking for real food for their dietary restrictions. So I might keep some baked goods in the back. And in fact, we're redesigning our Boston store right now, and I'm going to hide, top secret, I'm going to hide a little button in the store. And if you find it and press it, we're going to bring out a secret menu with special designs that the public can't buy, and we're partnering up with a local donut company, and you could get real donuts if you know the secret button to get the secret menu. So that's what I'm trying out. We'll see what happens. I could not bring too many shirts with me today. I didn't want to get arrested at the border. I hear a lot of bands get stopped from coming in the country, from bringing in merchandise. So I have a few prizes for you, and I'm going to tell you about those just after I show you this next thing. So we get terrible reviews every single day on those food websites. I'm going to read one of them to you. This guy gave me 1 star. He said, "This is not Cupcake Shop. Overpriced T-shirts and not even one cupcake. Only when you paid for parking and enter the store, you realized you wasted your time, comma, capital O." You sort out that grammar, buddy, or I can't take you serious. On the storefront, they have signs galore, freshly baked, no sugar. Not even one sign say they sell cloths. No cupcakes. They think it's clever. Nope. Well, I'll tell you what's clever. I'm going to put this bad review on a T-shirt and sell it for $35. Thank you very much. So, a couple surprises for you. Which surprise should I tell you about first? All right, since I couldn't bring too many shirts with me, I will usually email, my sister or I will email 5 people that we're going to send $50 gift cards to. And also, make sure you shoot me an email if you want to make any special T-shirts together. My email is not hard to figure out. It's johnny@johnnycupcakes.com, which is probably why I get all this Viagra email sent to me. I usually pull a few winners since we don't have too much time on stage. My sister Lindsay or myself, probably myself because my sister just had a kid like a few hours ago. I'm going to email you a $50 gift card. We're going to pick 5 people, and I might even post it on my Snapchat and pull them out live. So on your way out, anywhere on the stage, feel free to drop your business card, and if you want to write a note on it, feel free to write a note to do so. And the second surprise I have for you, if you reach underneath your seat, there's a little drug dealer bag with a little special something for you. Thank you very much, everybody.